Okay, so this will be the first entry into my video diary of what it's like to recover from childhood sexual trauma. It's December 2nd, 2016. And I have never done anything like this before. I have been writing pretty regularly for a long time, but this is a little bit different. It's hard for me sometimes to translate onto paper what it's like to feel the things that I feel and make it seem authentic, because it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't, writing just doesn't translate the feeling, or I can't translate it. So yesterday I went to my first meeting with a rape crisis center to begin support groups for survivors of childhood sexual trauma. And I was disassociating a lot, and it was really pretty challenging. I mean, there were no direct questions about specifics, but I had to lay out, like very vague things. But it was enough to be pretty tiring and challenging. I had therapy right after it, so that was pretty convenient. And we pretty immediately dove into what had happened during that session and what it was like for me to not even really talk about it, but have that be the focus of why I was going somewhere. And it was hard. I don't like admitting that I need help. It's pretty common. I don't know how. I don't know how to really admit that I need help with this stuff, because it's so I don't know. I don't know how to ask for help with it, because it's everywhere. It's like every little part of my life has been affected pretty deeply by what happened. And it also feels like, why can't you just get over it already? And why can't you move on? And all of the things in my mind that that tell me I'm being a baby, and that it happened a long time ago, so I should be okay by now. Or that I still shouldn't be, so perturbed or so disturbed and dealing with this. The fact is that it has made its way into every single part of the way that I exist. And I am so fucking sick of that I can't just have a day where I get to, walk around in the world and not be afraid that some guy is attracted to me. Like something so simple makes me afraid, or makes me feel like I that there's something wrong with me, or that like I did something to bring this on myself, and what is there even to be brought on? Like, someone's attracted, so what? You know, like this thing, like why always this, like where I have to process everything. I'm so fucking sick of it. Like I can't just let things go. So during therapy yesterday, the last session we had started discussing a foundation, and which we'd been kind of progressing toward for a month or so, progressing toward laying a foundation for what it would be like for me to begin this process of admitting and talking about and making a timeline for these things that occurred. So the last session, not yesterday, but the one a week before that, we had gone through some exercises in grounding, and because I do have that, I have that thing, as a lot of people with trauma do, is the disassociating thing. So whenever something comes up that's really hard to talk about, and I'm talking directly to another person, my brain does this really incredible thing that has been really useful for me in protecting myself from feeling certain things. But it disassociates, and it's a pretty interesting thing when it happens. But so I dissociate, and the way that mine looks is that first it's almost like I feel my head in one place, and then it's like I am halfway back in my skull. It's this really bizarre feeling where I am not, it's like I'm not fully in my body. I'm like halfway back. And then and then the person that's talking to me, they're saying things to me, but as the dissociation progresses, I stop being able to receive the information that's being communicated around me. So they're talking, and my brain, and I'm hearing what they're saying, but my brain isn't making connections with what they're saying. So it's coming in, and it's almost like I have to squint to like hear. It's like I can't make sense of what's happening right now. It's really, really bizarre and pretty uncomfortable, because I look like I'm there, because they're talking to me like I'm there, but I'm not there. It's like I'm an echo. It's like I echo inside of my own head, and everything they're saying is an echo, and my brain is not firing in the way of making connections. So the whole point of the grounding exercises is so that when that starts to happen, because I have some telltale signs when that starts to happen, we can bring me back. And a couple of those are working with the senses, the 5 senses, and taste, smell, sight, hearing, and touch. So you'll do 5 things that you can feel, and you'll describe it out loud. And so the next thing would be 5 things you hear, and either you'll say those things or describe them out loud. And it seems like just saying them for me, I can't really, it doesn't really work. It seems like it would be a better idea for me to actually describe them, because then I have to get more involved with it and the surroundings. So touch and hearing and sight, and so I'd like have to name or describe something that I see. Taste is a little more difficult. I read on these handouts that she gave me, my therapist, that it's good to have like candy or, you know, like something like salt or something around that you're prepared to do this practice. So taste and then smell, and it's good to have, again, something to come prepared for this practice. I mean, I tried using my armpit one time, and that was, I don't know. I mean, it was just kind of goofy. It works, but I mean, that's my armpit, and like what I can smell the inside of my nose, I guess, and my feet but I don't know, it seems like it might be a little bit nicer to kind of prep for something like that, you know, like a candle or, you know, something, flower or something. Yeah, so that's one. We didn't use that one yesterday. It seems like it takes a long time. There was only an hour, so. And so yesterday, the one that we used was throwing a ball back and forth, and that was really nice. It worked. Like I came back pretty quickly, or I feel like I came back pretty quickly. The thing is, with that one, like in order for me to stay in like the entire time I'm talking, I'm going to have to be throwing a ball back and forth. Because at this point, when I'm talking directly about some certain things, I go, you know, like I go somewhere. And I'm there, but I'm not. So that might get a little irritating. Or it just seemed funny, which I guess could be okay. It worked for a short amount of time, and I'm willing to try anything at this point. So the next thing that we didn't do yesterday, but she thought would be helpful is balancing, like standing up and balancing while talking about hard situations. So that could be another goofy, funny thing, because if you dissociate, you lose some maybe vital senses to balance. I feel like I've perfected disassociation that I may be able to balance while doing it, but we'll see. Again, like I said, I'm willing to do fucking anything at this point. I have goals in my life, and this shit gets in the way. I want to be a really good mom, and I am a massage therapist, and I need to be in a room with people and this not be a thing, or something. If it is a thing, that it's a thing that has been integrated and not just in a box, compartmentalized. I want to be a nurse. I want to be able to come up against these circumstances in other people's lives and not refer to my own. I want to be present for people. I want it to be something that is something that I can talk about as like, yeah, you can do this too. Don't worry, it'll be okay. And I can't really do that right now because I'm not sure that it is okay. I have a little bit of hope, but it feels pretty insurmountable at this point. That's just the truth. So anyway, I want to go to the gym, so I'm going to go. If anybody watches, I don't really know that anyone's going to, but if you know anyone who has struggled with trauma, or you have, let me know. It'd be good to build a community around what this has been like. hopefully we can reach people. I think that'd be good. This world needs some healing. So, okay. Feel like I want to tell myself I love myself, so I'm gonna do that. At some point I'll talk about breathing exercises because I love them. They saved my life. Bye.